Hello dear student. Today we are going to start the next portion of natural resources. In this session we are going to see the two natural sources, or you can also call it as resources like water and the soil. So we will move towards our topic about the water. So see, water means what? We know that it is one natural resources and its a role is in our everyday life. Is it? Water forms a 2/3 of our body, means our body is consisting of 2/3 portion of the level. It keeps the body temperature normal. It is also used for the agriculture purposes. So there are so many uses of a water. Without the water, the living form cannot be survive on the earth. Is it? Each and every seconds, hour, day, minutes require water. Is it? Not only for the human beings but along with the living things which are in the form of animals, birds or the plants, they require the water. Is it? So the water is not only for the purpose of our daily life for drinking, but it require for in different ways. Is it? For the large scale, for preparing or for the production of something, for the cropping. Is it? And there are so many examples we are going to see the importance of water. So it is also called used for the agriculture purposes, domestic purpose, industrial purposes, etc. Distribution of water on the earth only 3%. So hope you have studied about the level of water and the land in your previous classes, 8th standard. So the distribution of water on the earth is only near about 3% of the water, and remaining 97 is resides in the oceans. So this is about the how much the ratio of water and the land on the, or you can say ocean and the water on the surface of the earth. Next, what are the importance of the water? The water is important resources needed for all survival of animals and the plants. See guys, as I told you, the water is required for every time in whole day. How much water we use, that we cannot calculate. Is it? If we sit and try to calculate it, will be a so huge amount. Is it? So not only for the living being, not only for the human beings, it's required for the all animals and the plants, because we know that plants require the water, then only they can grow. From that water only they used to consume the minerals, nutrition and all the chemicals which require for the growth and development. Is it? So here there are some examples where we mostly use the water for which purposes. For example, like cooking, bathing, washing clothes, utensils, and the drinking purpose. It's obviously it's an essential one. And one more important thing is that excreting out the waste material. So we know that how we used to be excrete our waste materials through the excretory system, that is the kidney. Is it? So as much as we drink the water, it's a good for our health, and through that water only our body get detoxified, and whatever the waste materials will be there, they will get excrete out through the urine. Next is the plant also require water, because plant gets water, and if they will not get the water, they will get dry up. Is it? So it's a better that the water should be used in such a way that it should not get waste out. Is it? We should learn how to reserve it. We should learn after reserving it how, in which ways and how much quantity we should use per day. Is it? So do we know that most of the cities, villages in the summer days used to be faced lots of problems during that condition. Is it? So it's a good way to understand about the water and what are the importance. And the next is demands of a water. We know that the demands of a water is increasing day by day, because with increasing the population, water demands also increasing. So this is demanding, because we know that not only for the drinking purpose, for the whole day life choices, is it? So we require the water, is it, for the industrial purpose, for the agriculture purpose. In the large amount the water will require. So unnecessary wastage of water should, we must stop, otherwise we will face the lackness of a water. So that will be for a lifetime or a longer time. It's a better that we should use a proper way in water. Next is water pollution. Water pollution means what? See, it's a contamination of water bodies with undesirable substances. So, undesirable substances means what? Those are not good for drinking purpose or any other purposes in which we use the water. Is it? For example, like the detergents, pesticides, fertilizers, ammonia, excreta, and the waste material from our body which we excrete, all these are get disposed inside the water, is it? Or we can say released into the water, because whatever the pipelines are present in our body, though those collectively goes in a drainage, is it? So these are nothing but a mixing up, and later we are getting a treatment on them, a treatment, and later we are using the same water. It's a better that before we should take care of these things, where we have to be dispose the things, there should only we dispose. Now see, detergent and pesticides, these are the harmful chemicals, is it? We cannot consume it, even if it get treated, might be some of these their traces will be remain inside the water, is it? So that's why the pesticides, fertilizers, ammonium, it should take care that they should not get disposed. Means what can we do now? Instead of throwing the medicines or any other fertilizers, chemicals inside the water, is it, we should make our dig inside the soil, and in that we can keep and cover the soil. So it is a good way of disposing the chemicals instead of throwing inside the water or anywhere else in the water bodies. So what happens, as I have told you, the collectively the all pipelines of our home, not only ours, a society or villages or the world, they used to get a combined in a drainage, is it? The drainage pipe, is it, that is actually a one big pipe that get connected from the whole houses. So in that what happens, the pesticides, chemicals, fertilizers, urine, excreta, ammonia, all these things will get mixed up, is it? So what happens, they sometimes gets mixed up with the water bodies like rivers, lakes, oceans, seas, is it? So this is actually happens, the water pollution. So how would the water get polluted? Because of these pollutants, and the pollutants are which are the detergents, pesticides, fertilizers, ammonia, excreta, all these are the pollutants, is it, water pollutants. So this will lead to the water pollution, and because of the water pollution, further we will face a lots of problems. Those are we going to be discussed here. Harmful effects. What are the harmful effects? The dangerous to aquatic life forms. How it is dangerous for the aquatic life forms? See case, we are talking about the water bodies, is it? Whatever the undesirable substance are there, they are going to be mixed up with the water bodies, is it? And whatever the aquatic animals are there, they actually survive in the water bodies only. So if these undesirable substances are mixing up with that, it means that these living forms which are aquatic one, they are living inside that water bodies only. It means that they are consuming that polluted water, and might be they will get die, is it? Might be they will get suffer from something else. Again what happens here, some of the fishes or the other aquatic animals which we used to be consumed, is it, they directly or indirectly going inside our stomach or the body. It means that we are also getting affected. Next, diseases and even death of a human. See, if suppose the water treatment should has not get properly done, you have learned the water treatment, primary, secondary, tertiary, biological, physical, chemical treatments must be to the drainage water and the sewage water, is it? So if should not treatment will be done, what happens, the that water will get mixed up and that will get comes inside our home for the drinking purpose and other purposes. It means we are directly or indirectly getting in contact with such a water, and we will face the diseases like typhoid, cholera, diarrhea. All these we used to be faced, is it? And sometimes if it is very dangerous, why it will become a dangerous, because we are just discussed that water pollutants, what they are, like pesticides, fertilizers, these are very toxic one, is it? We cannot consume it, and we must we may get die also, so death also. That's why it's a one of the effect which harmful for our body. Next is skin problems. Yes, just I will talk to you. The pesticide fertilizer are not good for our health if it will get in touch with our skin. Is it that water we are using for bathing and other purposes? It means what happening? The infections will be caused. Is it? For example, like a bacterial or fungal infection, those will be for a longer time. So it's better to be away from such a things. So due to the water pollution, the harmful effects will be like this. Next is disturbs the food chain. What happens here? The food chain means we know that the one organism which eats the another organism, is it? So in this case, what happens? The food chain will get disturbed. Suppose, as I told you, the water bodies consisting of aquatic animals, is it? The aquatic animals will get by eaten by the human beings. It means the water get polluted that has eaten by the small fishes, is it? That small fish will be get eaten by the big fish, and that big fish is going to be eaten by us. It means that it's a one chain, is it, that will get disturbed. If it means that if a small or the any one of a big fishes will be get die for a longer time, then their consumption will be get decrease out, yes it. And again we will also face a lots of a problems. Next is affect on a plant growth. Obviously, if suppose we have just said that the water bodies consisting undesirable substances, if we are providing such a water to our plants, so what happens, the pollutants will get mixed up with that soil, is it? And the water whichever consisting the harmful chemicals that will get consumed by the plants, is it? And the plant will get in immature stage only, they will get die, and they will be get dry up, is it? And they will not produces any type of the productives, means like fruits, vegetables, crops, whatever will be there, they will not be no more. So these are the actual the harmful effects which cause or happens due to the water pollution. Next is, what are the causes of water pollution? Wastewater, just we have talked, the drainage pipes, is it? Next is untreated sewage. If the water which has not gone through the primary, secondary and tertiary treatment, so it will may get affect, just we have seen what will the effects, is it? Next is chemical waste like a pesticides, fertilizers and the insecticides. They are very harmful, is it? So they will be cause a lots of skin diseases and other diseases like cancers and all, is it? Which will be a lead us to for the death, is it? Not for us also, but the living things which are surviving on the earth. Next is plastics. We know that plastics are very dangerous. Those are also made up of the some chemicals, is it? Sometimes what happens, the plastics bottles which we use for a drinking purpose, what happens there, we use for a short period and we just throw out, is it? If it will get mixed up with the any of the water bodies, what happens, they will be for longer time there, is it? Some of the aquatic animals which present in them, they will get consumed that some portions of the plastics. It means that again the chain of the food will be get disturbed. It means that plastic chemicals will be get eaten by that small aquatic animals, again that small aquatic animals will get the eaten by the bigger one. So likewise the water bodies also get affected or the get harms. Next is insecticides and the pesticides. See guys, insecticide and pesticides means what? To kill insects on the, we can say, in on the plants, is it, or the pesticides also we use to kill the pest. So what happens by using these chemicals or the fertilizers, what happens if we use an excessive amount, so followed by the heavy rain or the any type of the rain, the pollutants nearby water will be get discharged. So what happens, these insecticides and pesticides if we use in a huge amount, it will be get discharged or it will be get flowed through the rain, and it will be may mix with the nearby any of the water bodies like a lake, river, fishes, ocean, sea, is it. So likewise the insecticide pesticides also will get mixed up. Next, dead bodies. Dead bodies means the animals, suppose if we have not properly disposed the dead bodies, what happens, their body decomposition, whatever will be the matter, that will get mixed up with the water, is it, and that will be a very harmful for our body. It should get mixed up inside the soil only. If it will get mixed up with the water, it will lead us to cause like a disease, dangerous tumors and the cancers. So it's better that we should properly dispose the dead bodies. Along with that, the animals which we die, is in which dies in the nature, that we nobody used to be take care of those things. So what happens in such cases, due to the heavy rains, such a their body parts or the decomposed portion also will get mixed up with the nearby the water bodies. It means indirectly we and the other living beings are going to be consume that water which has got mixed up with the organic matter of a dead bodies. Is it not only that that dead body is there, along with that whatever the diseases if that dead body got consumed caused, is it, and the other bacterial microorganisms will be grow there for a longer time, it means that it will affect directly on our body, and our body will get disturbed, and we may also get follow those type of diseases. Next, algal bloom. Algal bloom means what, or the boom means what? It's an excessive growth of algae on the water surface which imports a color to the water bodies. Hope you have ever seen the greenish portion or the blue, or you can say yellowish portions on the water bodies like lake, river. Is it, what will be that? That is actually the algae, the excessive amount of growth of algae on the water surface. It means if you can observe that it is like a blanket on the water surface or the covering. So what happens, due to the excessive growth of algae on the on the water surface, which imports a color means we know that algae is in the form of a various type, is it. If the chlorophyll pigment is more, then it will be more greenish. If it will be red in color, then the water body will appear as a red color. If the blue or yellowish algae, it means that it will also look like the same one. That's why it imports a color to the water bodies. So algal bloom is also dangerous, because what happens if it will be a longer time on the water surface, and if we are consuming that water for our purpose, then what happens, we also get suffer some diseases. So it's better that we always see that which type of a water we are consuming, is it a treated one or not treated one, is it should be get purified, boiled one. All these types of the things we must take care. Next is that if the algal bloom will be there, okay, what will be the causes of causing that algal bloom? Excess of nutrients. See guys, as I was told, if the fertilizer and pesticides are why we use only to grow the crop and the plants in more faster way, is it, and to get a more productivity or the crops. So in such a cases, what we do, we use a excessive amount of fertilizer and pesticides. If that will get drain out by the heavy rain, then it will going to be mixed up with the water, is it? Now how those fertilizer and pesticides are consisting some nutrition, is it? Then only we are providing, is it? Some chemicals we used to be provide, it means that those are going to be mixed up with the water bodies, and that drained out fertilizer and chemicals when going to be mixed up with water bodies, it means that the microorganisms which are present in the water, they are getting the more nutrition, is it? That's why they used to be grow in rapid form. So the layer will be get day by day increased, and the algal bloom will happens. So this is the cause. Next is what will be the effect. The toxic, it will be toxic to the human beings and the animals if we are drinking it. Next, it kills the aquatic bodies or the life forms. So whichever the organisms or the animals living inside that water body, they will also get killed soon because of the algal excessive growth. Next is increases treatment cost for the drinking water. So what happens if the excessive algal will be there, then it will be very difficult and require a lots of cost to treat it, is it? If it is one, if it will be in a less quantity bloom, is it? What happens then? At that time we suddenly take some actions and we treat it. If it will be huge in number, then it will require a lots of expenses also. So it's a better that we must take care that which type of a water we are drinking, is it a clean one, it is a neat, it is a hygienic, or it is which type of water, purified or not. So we actually got to don't know that which type of water we are actually drinking. So if we are a literate person, it means that we must know all these things, is it? Where from the water is coming, which type of a water we are drinking. Instead of suffering from any of the diseases, it's better to know before it. Next is sewage. Sewage means we know that it's a wastewater to be removed from a community for healthy for the healthy living. So what happens, the factories or the home and the other things, okay, where actually the large quantity of products can be carried out, what happens, the wastewater from that things will be get removed from their pipelines, so that maybe get mixed up with any other chemicals or anything like that. So such types will be happens. So disposal of sewage, what happens, inappropriate sewage disposal can cause a pollution. It requires again the treatment like primary, secondary, tertiary water treatment, is it? So the question will be arise that how does sewage discharge harm aquatic life? Same, the sewage discharge when into the water body, then the microbe causes a biodegradation of organic matter, oxygen used up by the microbes, and the lack of oxygen like a aquatic life. So what happens, the microbes which are present in that water, they will consume the more oxygen, is it? Then the aquatic life which are present along with that, they will get a lackness of oxygen, it means that they will also get die. So in anyhow cases, whatever will be the pollution will be caused to the natural resources. So the what happens there, only the human beings and the living beings are going to be get affected. That's why we are only doing these things, and we are going to be face only these things. So it's better that we must stop all these things. So in the next session we will study about the water cycle and how the water is transpirated and evaporation, and how actually the cycle takes place on the earth. So for any doubts and difficulties, you can ask me. Thank you.